In five, four, three, two, one. Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Fresh Off the Road. I'm very excited to finally show this project for you guys. It's been months in the making. So to explain a little what this podcast is all about. So this podcast is aimed at traveling to new and different locations all around, and we want to aim at giving you guys, the viewers, something new. We didn't really want this podcast to be the same things over and over again. And, it gives you guys a new experience and it gives me, as well as the people who will be on this podcast, a new experience as well. So I'm your host, Tyler. And here with me today for the very first episode is Noah.
What's up, guys? My name is Noah Teresa, a longtime friend of Tyler. Um, been waiting for this show for quite some time, and I'm happy to be a part of the first episode. Should be good, good experience. Haven't done anything like this.
Yeah, it's a first for me too. I've always wanted to start something or like create some kind of like video or some kind of project or whatnot. And, you know, just earlier this summer, it came to me like, oh, why don't I start a podcast? It's an easy way to get started with um, videos and videography, stuff like that. And yeah, here I am now, finally able to start the very first episode after I got all the things required to set up for one. And yeah, and I who else asked to be on the very first episode than my longtime friend Noah, right?
Yeah, I'm honored.
So me and Noah have known each other for a very long time now. We first met back in middle school. I think it was seventh grade, right? Something like that. Um, we don't really know exactly how we met. Kind of sounds strange, even though we've been friends for this long. We don't really have that origin story like most longtime friends have. But our friendship just kind of happened, and here we are now.
Yeah, it could have been soccer. I'm not too sure either.
Hmm.
Um, after quite some time, you kind of just forget. It's a vague past.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember we've always had the same friend group. We've always hung out around the same people, you know, hung out in the same group, same places. And then, we went through the ropes, went up to high school, same thing. Hung out, got closer, etc. And then after high school graduation, we ended up going to the same university.
Yeah, both went to Buffalo. Um, you kind of go your own path, so we split off a little bit, but
Hmm.
we were always in contact still.
Yeah.
4 years there.
Yeah, I just recently graduated this past May with a bachelor's degree in environmental design.
I'm currently finishing up my public health degree. Just one last semester. It's online, but with everything going on.
Yeah, no, crazy,
Yeah.
especially with all the things that are going on right now. Um, it was already hard enough for me during earlier in the year when COVID first happened. Like all these online classes and this transition was a little very different to say the least. So, how was your experience during that time?
Hmm. I don't know, mixed feelings about it. This whole COVID situation has been dragging on for some time. At the start in March, it was I don't know what to think of it. I don't think any of us did.
Mm-hmm.
School wise, I mean, I was fine with staying at home. That didn't bother me, but I just didn't know what to think about something like this, a
Mm-hmm.
virus that was spreading so quick. So I was just hoping for the best for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and just adapting to the situation.
Yeah. Surprisingly, my last semester, so this past semester before graduation, that was my best semester in terms of my grade and like my academic performance that
Yeah.
I've had my entire
Uh,
4 years.
Really?
Yeah.
It was up there for me too. I'm not gonna lie. It was like school was a lot easier online and stuff,
Hmm.
and you kind of had to you could just do your own thing.
Hmm. So since you're still going to school now,
Mm.
still the same place, Buffalo. Is it any different than how, we were going to school back in the spring?
Um, nah, not really. I do have one class that is hybrid, so that might be the only difference for the most part. So
Hmm.
out of the four classes I'm taking, three of them are online. Kind of just hop on a Zoom call, take care of that. Um, it's not really a big deal.
Yeah. My sister, she's going to, she's a freshman in college. So, people that age going into college for the first time, especially during this time, and then it's a very different experience than,
Yeah,
when me and you went to, um,
it's
were
college.
freshmen in college back all the way in 2016.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Just trying to deal with this, having to wear, you know, follow the guidelines and all that. Trying
Hmm.
to be a freshman, not understanding what's going on while trying to take on freshman classes.
Yeah.
If I had to deal with this like during freshman year as like a nursing major,
Yeah.
I would have been stressed.
Yeah. She's a nursing major too, and
Yeah, so
you can imagine how much stress she and people like her are under. Um, yeah, but like, you know how younger people like their age entering college or whatever, they have this whole perception of what um college is like, right?
yeah,
And the fact that they can't actively, partake in those perceptions or things that they think they would be doing in college
yeah,
nowadays because of what COVID has done
right,
to this
right.
world, right? And so, you hear all these stories online about how, you know, college students are like breaking protocols and then still going to parties and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
like, it depends on how you look at it. You can think that, you know, they're college students, they're
Yeah,
18, they're 18-year-olds. They're always going to do that. You can't really blame them for wanting to have that college experience, right?
yeah,
But I don't think, you know, this should be taken lightly
I agree.
personally, because like, you're putting a lot of people at risk, and you hear all these stories that they opened these schools up and then all of a sudden they had to shut them down like a week later because a lot of people have been infected. So
Yeah, I mean, I know you said look at the two sides. One being, they're just trying to live their life, enjoy the partying scene and
mhm.
whatnot. But unfortunately, that's not the best
can't
move.
can't live your life if it's cut short.
Yeah, right, right, right. So I don't know.
That was a little dark,
I
but
feel bad in a sense, but
hmm
like everybody's going through something in some way, whether it's college, work,
hmm
uh, athletics, and so on.
yeah. I mean, I just hope things get better, right? By next year or soon at least. I
Hopefully,
can't
I
really
don't know.
estimate when.
Trump just got hit, so who knows who's next?
Yeah, our president of the United States, Donald Trump,
Who would have thought?
has been infected with COVID. Um,
He didn't
we're
want
not
to.
here to talk about
Yeah,
that though.
yeah. Let's keep that.
We'll we'll let you guys think about that. But more on this podcast, more on the first podcast. Um, you know, the whole idea was traveling, right? So, when I first thought of this podcast, I was like thinking, oh, I want to do a podcast. What can I do that's different than, all these other podcasts or something that I haven't seen personally before? And then, all these podcasts that I've listened to and watched, they're what you see right now, or what you hear right now. We're just in, a regular office space or studio, wherever it may be, and we're just talking to each other, right? About whatever topic it is. And then, something that's always interested me, um, piqued my interest, I guess. Something that I've always wanted to get into is traveling. And, you know, I thought, how can I connect podcasting to traveling? And
Hmm.
I thought, why not combine them both, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, could I combine it, or how would I be able to combine it? So then I hit you up. I told you the idea. I was like, oh, why don't we make a travel cast or a traveling podcast? Um, and then, so my initial idea was like, oh, why don't we take the podcast and bring it on the road? You wherever we go is where the podcast goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at first, I it seemed like the greatest idea ever, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that kind of flexibility and I guess financial situation to.
Right, right.
I'm fresh out of college. Um, this during a kind of a rough time in the world right now. Um, you know,
But that's the idea so far, and
hmm
wherever this leads to, that's gonna hopefully they can stay that path.
hmm
If things get better or whatnot, maybe it can become that. But for now, we're working out of here. Um, we'll do spots nearby,
yeah,
but that's what you're trying to do at
yeah.
least.
So you know, for you guys that are listening for this very first episode, I hope you stick with it, stick with me, um, support me. I guess see where this goes. I'm new to this. I'm still trying to figure out what route, what complete route to take for this podcast. But um, to begin with, I will be trying my best to um, do what I planned to bring the podcast somewhere else. Um, some episodes will be in a new location, while other episodes will be here. Um, the balance, may be a little off initially because, um, you know, during COVID, financial situations, um, you name it, I can make excuses, but
You're just gonna have to get a little creative. That's all.
yeah, yeah. So,
I say big ups to Tyler for trying this out. This does not look as you know, easy as it usually does. You watch podcasts online and you would think like,
hmm
yeah, I could do this too. Take some creativity and some
yeah,
yeah, some skill for sure.
yeah, I appreciate it. Some places that I've been looking to go in the future. Hint, hint for future episodes. Are some nearby places, right? So we're based in Rochester right now, so you could look for future episodes in cities nearby, um, and maybe in the future next year, definitely looking outward toward out of the state for sure. Um,
You were talking West Coast
yeah,
maybe
West
some.
Coast, been there a few times. California, although I haven't been there enough, people would say that I haven't been there enough to get this kind of judgment, but uh, you know, I kind of enjoy it way more than the East Coast. Not gonna lie.
I've never been there myself, so one day, but I hear
Yeah.
the same thing. Like nice weather,
hmm Not
nice
looking,
everything.
not looking so well. It is looking hot, but it's not looking so hot right now over there,
Yeah.
especially with all this fire, all these fires, all these all these problems over there that they're dealing with. Thoughts and prayers to them for dealing with these fires. You see that orange sky?
I did.
That's crazy.
Looks like something out of a
Apocalypse movie, right?
yeah, some zombie
It's
movie.
wild. But other than those like heat waves, fires, etc. The West Coast is a beautiful place, beautiful people, especially, um, and close ties to San Diego. I got some family out there. Um, one of my closest friends too used to be in San Diego. Shout out to CJ. You guys might see him in the future. Uh, he was stationed in the Navy in San Diego, and then recently moved, and he's no longer in the Navy, but he has moved to Las Vegas. So who knows? You might see us in Las Vegas for future episode.
Am I joining?
I don't know. You could if you want to come, you can come. Um, so where have you been? Or where's the most exotic place I guess you've been to?
All right, so most exotic would be right over here, East Coast. I don't know if you think they can see it from here.
If you can see,
Ethiopia.
yeah, if you can see on the camera, we have
Got a nice
it's
little
pointing to
globe
a
over
globe
here.
right here. If you guys are listening, I have a globe here in the office space, and he just pointed to it. So Ethiopia, huh? When'd you go?
All right, so Ethiopia, I went to. I think I was 11. It's been some time, so it's been, you know, 11 years ago. Probably the craziest experience I've had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Going to another continent, man, it's it's something different. It's you see a whole another way of life and
Yeah.
different people, not different people, my people, but different than what you're used to, especially not being born there.
Mm-hmm.
Being born here in the States, you're accustomed to this I don't know, this like life that's things are easily given to you or easily
Yeah,
gotten, I
like when
guess.
you're here, when me and you, people like us, people in this country, we
Yeah,
take things for granted, right?
exactly. Right, right. And then you go back home. Um, it's more about the way of life than anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being a Laotian American, and your parents too. Our
Mm,
parents came here
yeah,
from another country, struggling.
right.
Um,
Trying to get us a better opportunity.
yeah. My parents came here in the '80s, um, as refugees from the war, and they tried their hardest. They went through a bunch of hardships, and they got to where they are now. Um,
For a lot of grit.
yeah, without them, we wouldn't be here. Uh, you know, I know I personally don't really show it that much, but I appreciate them, what they've done for me,
Yeah.
and I could never I'll never be able to experience the same things they do and
Hmm.
understand what they went through, but I
You
do
know.
appreciate it,
Yeah, I
right?
think we all do. We try as much as we can. Sometimes we forget to show that a little bit, but um, yeah, much appreciated if they ever watch this.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Anywhere else you've been?
I mean, out of country, no. Besides Canada, but I wouldn't count that.
Yeah.
No. State wise, I've been to see Georgia. I've been to North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
DMV area, um, Ohio. Nobody wants to go there. I don't know. Off the top, I can't think of too many places.
What's the farthest west you've gone?
Farthest west,
Is it Ohio?
shit, not even halfway. Not even halfway.
Yeah.
Probably Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that though.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that. We just gotta grind first,
Yeah,
get out of
definitely.
school, get settled, stuff like that, and then start traveling like we planned. Um,
Yeah,
so I've been, I recently came off of a luxurious trip with
yeah.
my family from the Dominican Republic
Uh, how was that?
in January. Think, and it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We came back at the end of January, right before the spring semester started.
Mm-hmm.
Came home back here to the U.S. And what do we see on the news? COVID outbreak, right?
Right,
That's
right.
crazy. We were, having a great time, living it up, enjoying our time there on vacation, and then come back and
Some pretty crazy timing.
crazy time. It's like we were on a trip and we made it back just in time
Just in time.
before, things got bad.
Right.
And I think that's kind of crazy. I mean, thank God, honestly.
Yeah. What'd you guys do out there?
So when people go to like these exotic trips, right, like to the Caribbean, um, like these different like vacations, right?
Yeah.
You see them go to like resorts,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's all you see, right?
Yeah.
You don't see anything else.
Right, right.
And honestly, personally, I wouldn't mind that. Like this was the first quote unquote luxurious, super expensive vacation that I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I've been out of the country too,
Mm-hmm.
aside from Canada. Um, so I didn't know what to expect. But like, so since it was my first luxury experience, I guess I wouldn't have minded if we just stayed at a resort and just hung out there. But in fact, um, we went with my parents' best friend. He's Dominican.
Mm-hmm.
We went with his family, and we stayed at a home in the Dominican
Mm-hmm. Like an Airbnb situation
in
type
Santa
thing.
Domingo, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, yeah, we stayed at an Airbnb or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a house um in the I guess you would say their suburban area or whatever. It
Like,
wasn't that far from the airport.
mm-hmm.
But you know, it's a very different experience than what you're seeing and what you see here in America.
Right.
When I say suburbs,
It's not the so.
it's
Nah,
not
nah.
like, oh, you walk out here in the suburbs of America and you see all these houses. No, it's not like that. Um
But land, nice
um
scenery type thing.
no.
Not at all.
It was like a lot of rundown homes, stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's kind of hard to explain.
I think I could. I think I could picture
It's
it though.
like it's kind of like a third world country
Yeah.
in like that kind of vibe there.
So were you?
Not all of the Dominican is like that. I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm saying like the place we were at, it was kind of a little rundown.
Mm. But were
And you
you? So were you traveling from back and forth like between there and the city area?
at first we stayed there. The city's beautiful. Like so we were just outside the city. We were outside the city. You know, the city's beautiful. Everything's nice. But we stayed the in the Airbnb where we were. It was in a kind of rundown area, but
Mm.
there was we were close to the beach. We would be able to walk to the beach.
Mm.
It would just be like maybe a 50-minute walk.
Okay.
So we went to the beach a lot. We hung out at the house. Had all these different foods,
Mm. What
plantains.
was your favorite part? What was your
Favorite part? So
experience?
this was the first half of this is the first half of the vacation. So the favorite part about the first half of the vacation was just kind of just experiencing this new place, I
Yeah,
guess.
unfamiliar
Yeah,
type.
unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Um, you know, most people would find it kind of surreal. Um, and like especially coming from here from America to see that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
See such a different cultures, different thing,
Yeah.
different way of life. Um, most people would find it surreal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I'm
And
not trying
was
to.
it your first time out of the country?
It's the first time out of the country.
Okay.
Um, it's pretty exciting. I guess my favorite part would be just experiencing the culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, we went to the resort.
Mm-hmm.
So we experienced all parts of the Dominican, um, you know, luxury and not. So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the second half of the trip, we went to Punta Cana, stayed at a resort there. You know, that was wild.
Yeah.
Like living in luxury, and then you know, you think there's people that do this like all the
All the
time,
time, right?
and it's like
Like lucky you.
how does that happen? I mean, not how does it happen, but like, you know,
Like,
it's crazy because you know going to some place like Punta Cana
yeah.
or like these exotic resorts, there's people from all over the world there.
Right, right, right.
It's kind of crazy. Like I know I've seen people from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long ways from
Right.
Australia, right?
I think, everyone hears about these type of spots and they're like, oh, I gotta go.
Hmm.
So, no, it's cool though. Um,
It's not my type of vacation though,
nah.
honestly. Like it, I don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, and
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, I do it again, but like, you know, there's definitely other places I'd choose to go
I know.
rather
I think
than
I know what you mean. Like
like
that seems like more of a week long vacation
yeah, like this is like
that you could
you can
get
go here
tired
and
of.
relax, like go to the
Yeah.
beach. Why not? I don't mind that.
Did you
I
find it kind of repetitive? Like after like a few days?
kind of,
Yeah.
but not where I didn't enjoy myself, right?
Right, right, right.
But it
But
was
not something like free flowing, right? So how I picture my vacation is um picking a location, out of the country, wherever it may be. Say we
mm,
go to Europe, take a mat and just go take the way of the lands type thing.
sure, sure.
Not staying at a fancy place. That's how I'd see my type
That's
of
how you see your
vacation.
vacation.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate the being able to relax and stuff like that. But like,
Yeah.
you know, some place where I'd love to go that I want to go in the future is Japan. I've
Japan.
told you that many times.
Definitely. That's on my.
Japan,
I gotta put that on my list too for sure.
South Korea,
Okay.
and Hawaii. You know, Hawaii might sound like, an exotic vacation, but
Mm,
I want to go to Hawaii not just for like the beaches and whatnot,
yeah.
but for the culture,
Yeah.
stuff like that too.
Right. Right.
Um, but yeah, Japan, man. I love their culture.
Yeah. I was just talking with one of my friends Eric earlier, and he was talking about Japan, and he
Mhm,
was saying how it's just crazy. It's a different experience. You just feel like you're in a movie, kind of.
mhm.
So I feel like maybe we should do that soon,
Yeah, for sure.
sometime in the
I do
future.
plan, like, honestly, I think I was almost, me and some other guys,
Like preparing, right?
we were almost positive we were gonna go to
Yeah.
Japan this summer, like, not even thinking about like finances or anything and whether or not we would be able to actually do it, but
Hmm.
like, we wanted to go this summer, and I kind of wanted to do it this summer after graduation because I might be entering the workforce after graduation, right? And then if I am working full time, right?
It's not gonna have the
You don't really
time.
have that much time anymore. You don't really have the freedom like you would have had in um, university.
Hmm.
So we wanted to get that done as soon as possible. And there's a lot of people that say, "Oh, you should just travel when you can,
Yeah.
travel while you're young, right?" Um, because that's when you're most free, right?
Right.
Travel as soon as possible and stuff like that. Don't really wait.
Hmm.
And I kind of take that to mind a little. I am being realistic though about what I can and can't do.
Hmm.
Um, and I almost went to Vegas for spring break
Yeah.
earlier this
To visit CJ.
yeah, to visit CJ, and it was kind of when COVID was breaking out,
Yeah.
but there's kind of unknowns,
Hmm.
and it was when people were like, "Oh my God, you can get
All these tickets
plane
for
tickets for
cheap,
cheap,
right?
right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I could go." Um,
Yeah, I
I
thought about it too. I remember at the end of the semester, my roommates and a few other friends were supposed to go to Fort Lauderdale.
yeah,
Um,
Florida.
yeah, and they
Oh
had
God,
they probably the worst spot, right?
Florida.
And
Jeez.
they had their tickets set up, the Airbnb set up, everything set up, and I mean, I was so close to doing it,
Hmm.
and that's exactly when everything started getting hit. They were closing down airports and whatnot, trying
Hmm.
to close down public spots. And I mean, tickets were cheap, like
Hmm.
$80 round trip.
But I didn't want to take that risk.
Oh
Thinking
yeah,
about it
nah,
now,
nah,
thinking
nah.
about
We're
it now,
definitely
thinking about it
taking
now.
safe precaution out here. None of that risky stuff.
Hmm.
You know, we quarantined, we did all that good stuff. So
Yeah,
there's time for that in the future though.
yeah.
For
We
sure.
can wait a little.
No doubt. All right,
So
so what other topics did we have for today? Oh, actually we just right before this we actually had a meal. I suggested we go to Saucy Chef if none of you have heard of it. It's a spot on Culver Road.
hmm
Great spot. She's takeout takeout only, and she does catering as well. Um, the food is amazing
hmm
and well worth the price point.
yes. Again, that's Saucy Chef. They're located on Culver Road in Rochester.
So we had the what was it called again?
We had
Sorry.
so why don't we step back a little? So for the podcast, I have planned some segments for each episode. So today's segment, we wanted to do what's called a fresh eats segment where we go out and get a popular local dish and share it with you guys. And we wanted to do that for Saucy Chef. Noah suggested we go to Saucy Chef today, and we did. So we ordered. It was called um, the threesome.
What was it? It was
Okay, so
kind of like a buttered rice, fried
it was
stir fried rice.
it was like a kind of like a Mexican Spanish stir fried rice with sesame chicken on top,
Mm-hmm.
and then um, some sausage in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
and some shrimp.
shrimp too.
some grilled shrimp on the.
Couple sauces on the
Then we
side.
had some yum yum sauce as well as well as some. Uh, uh, it was a spicy pepper oil. Um, fantastic.
Yeah, I enjoyed
It's
it.
it's like one of those pictures. Like we checked out the Instagram page. Make sure you go check out their Instagram page too. They have pictures of all their food. At the Saucy Chef. You go to their page, you look at all their food. First thing you think of is it's good,
Yeah, you're gonna
right?
be like,
Those
damn,
pictures.
I need a plate. The first plate I tried wasn't that one actually. I tried I think it's the burrito tacos. It comes with three, like kind of like a queso type pulled beef, breast beef
Hmm.
taco.
Hmm.
Um, just amazing. Probably some of the best tacos I had.
Yeah, definitely will be going there again for sure in the future. But yeah. So each episode we plan on doing a food not each episode, um, but our fresh eat segment. Again, we will be trying to go to a popular locale and then showing the food on the podcast. This episode we decided not to, for certain reasons, but for future episodes we will be trying to showcase the food on the podcast. For people watching the podcast through YouTube, we'll have it here in the office space, and we will be able to show you guys. And for those who are listening on audio platforms like Spotify and iTunes, we will try our best to explain it to you, right?
Right.
So, you know, again, traveling, I wanted to go to Japan for sure. You know, I love anime. That's not a secret for anyone who knows me. Um, I've been immersed in their culture for Japanese culture for a while, and it's not just because of anime. Like I don't only enjoy anime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I enjoy all the other aspects of the culture, like their food for sure. And it's always been my dream to go go to Japan and try all their food.
Yeah.
One of my favorite foods is sushi and sashimi,
Mm-hmm.
and you know it's been a dream to want to go to maybe Osaka, and
It's a famous spot over there.
yeah, it's they're famous for their food, and just being able to go. That's why I love the West Coast too,
Mm-hmm.
because they're so close to the coast. Like, okay, San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
the Bay Area, um, they're so close to the coast, and they have all this access to seafood that you can use for sushi, right? Especially salmon.
Mm-hmm.
And fresh salmon, nothing beats that. It's like
Yeah.
the craziest thing. Anyone you talk to anyone who's had that experience is crazy. It's nothing like what you can get here at, like, for example, Wegmans.
Right. Right.
Like it's
No, that
okay,
not
but
that
it's
pre-made
not.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was never really keen to sushi until like recent, maybe like a year ago or so.
Hmm.
Um, slept on for sure. I enjoyed it a lot. I don't have like a fan specific. I do like the yellowtail or any of the spicy rolls or anything like that. But I'll eat anything to be honest.
Yeah, this man eats anything.
Yeah.
Me and him, we'll be going out to go get some food, whatever, hang out. We go eat. We order. We sit down. I take one bite. This man's already done with all his food.
Done. Done.
I don't understand. This man inhales his food like a vacuum cleaner. I swear to God.
I don't
He
know. It's just that I make it a task of mine to just eat that shit.
like I do the same, but it's not as fast.
Yeah.
Like I know some people. So, okay, you ask anyone, like you ask my roommates from last semester how I eat, like normally, not even at restaurants, like at home when I'm cooking a meal.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be sitting at the dinner table and I'll be eating. They this is how they describe it. They say I eat like I've never eaten before. Like it's kind of like how you do it, but
Yeah. But not as
um,
extreme.
yeah, not as extreme.
Oh
Um,
shit.
but
No, I recommend, enjoy your food.
yeah, if the food's good, why not scarf it down your face?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So like today when we went to Sausage Chef, we we were so hungry because this man was taking forever. We are supposed to meet up earlier, and this man
Yeah,
was
I kind
2
of got
hours late.
kind of ran into some things.
Yeah, I was waiting for him. I didn't eat anything today, because I was just saving my appetite. I was like, I might as well just wait. I had a snack, but and then this man 1 hour turned to 2 hours, so on, and then
Yeah, so we kind of just ate that before the,
yeah, we ended up going to go pick up the food. The food smelled so good on the way. It was just tempting us on the way back,
I know
and
one thing. I mean, for future fresh eats or whatnot, the plan was to maybe possibly take the camera along with us
yeah,
to a restaurant spot.
yeah,
You know,
and
have a
then
little setup so you can
yeah, show you guys our experience with
the
going to
certain
wherever we go.
yeah.
Um,
That way you guys have like a, you know, it's like you're eating with us kind of. You get to enjoy the food and whatnot, huh?
uh, yeah. So food. You cook a lot.
Me personally, as a late note, so I ended up moving back from Buffalo.
Hmm.
So you know, my mom is cooking all the good stuff for me right now.
Oh
But
yeah, I can't really.
even I mean, hey, when I was back in Buffalo though, I was cooking. You know, had to do it. So I'd cook breakfast, lunch, dinner. My roommates did as well. So we'd kind of make it like a roommate thing.
Mhm.
So we just
Would you guys? Would you guys
someone might
usually
do
make?
it one day. What's up?
Would you guys usually make?
Um, I mean, it always consisted of pasta, rice,
Yeah, typical.
some type of protein like beef, chicken,
Hmm.
shrimp. Nothing crazy. We didn't like not Jay, one of my roommates. He was all about um actually taking his time with it and cooking quality meals. But you know, me and my other roommate were just like cook it up and just eat it.
Hmm.
You know, I got no time to waste.
Yeah, I remember freshman year we lived in the dorms, so we ate all the campus food, right?
Hmm.
And it wasn't until sophomore year, where we moved out and we didn't live together, but we lived in apartments, right?
Hmm.
And so we would cook our own food. Um, and that's when I had my car, so I'd be able to go to the grocery store and stuff like that. And yeah, pasta, pasta was a staple. Like it's one, it's cheap. Two, it's easy to make. It's easy to make pasta, but it's hard to make good pasta, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you make it fresh, like you can do whatever you want with
Hmm.
it. When you do what I did, straight out the can,
Oh
add a
my
little
god.
salt, salt, maybe some paprika, and that's
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean, I've definitely evolved. I've definitely evolved as
nah,
a
yeah,
cook,
you definitely cook a lot more than
from
I do, and you add,
from sophomore year up until
yeah.
senior year.
Mhm.
Um, I've kind of got. I mean, okay, being in a.
Hey, wait. Before we go on, don't get it wrong. I could definitely cook if I had actually had to put some effort in. But you know how college goes,
Mhm.
trying to save some money. But as for you, I know you're a
I
big fan of it.
yeah, I've definitely. I don't cook as much now because yes, like you, I moved back home in Rochester.
Yeah.
So my mom and my dad, they love cooking.
Hmm.
They make some bomb ass food better than anything I could ever make.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Coming.
why would I want to cook if why would I want to
Yeah.
cook for myself if they can make things 10 times better? And I know you guys are probably thinking, oh, you should be cooking for your parents. And yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah. I mean.
They'll probably listen to this and yell at me. Y- I do cook dinners on occasion though, for
Yeah.
sure. Um,
That's how I feel about it. I'm like, I came home, you know,
mhm.
and I barely had cooked home meals for like a solid 4 years. So when I came home, I just had to enjoy it.
Mhm.
Anything she would make.
Yeah. I try. I mean, I don't for dinners, whenever I make for my parents, I don't ever take the easy way out, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part. Like I don't sit here and make pasta for them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like whenever my dad makes pasta, it's like some like exotic Italian dish that you
Got
don't
them.
even know the name of.
Yeah.
Like some
Yeah.
cream of whatever, and then
Yeah.
it's like crazy good and like I
Yeah.
can never make that. Um but like I try. I'm big into cooking Korean and Japanese food,
Mm-hmm.
or I've been into. So I didn't start cooking um Korean and Japanese stuff after until the like closer to the end of sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
So my one of my closest friends that I met in college, his name is Jay Bum Lee. He is a Korean international student who came to UB. He's currently in Korea right now, serving in the military, and he'll be back next year. Hopefully, I don't know how things are gonna turn out, but me and him got really close. One thing led to another. He invited me to his apartment, and he cooked dinner. Um, and he made me bulgogi. You know what bulgogi is?
I remember you explaining it to me one time before. I
So
know
it's
it's like
it's
a
it's like a braised beef
yeah,
in like
yeah.
this sweet marinade.
Uh-huh.
Um, you can make it with beef, you can make it with pork,
Mm-hmm.
you can make it with chicken. Um, so like for example, like I think maybe a couple weeks ago I made dak bulgogi for
Mm-hmm.
my parents, which is a chicken, um, a braised chicken,
Okay.
right? So he made bulgogi for me with beef, and like that was honestly like the I haven't had something that good in like forever. Like you eat something made by a Korean person, Korean food made by a Korean person.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's how it should
crazy.
go.
Yeah, that's how it should go, right?
It's as
Like
authentic as it
like the
gets.
Korean food and the Japanese food that I make would
Yeah,
never be close to his.
right.
And so we had that, and then it kind of inspired me to want to create. I mean, cook Korean, right?
Mm-hmm.
So um, he eventually showed me how to make this soup.
Mm-hmm.
So it's in Korean it's called budae.
Okay.
So it is in English they call it Korean army stew,
Okay.
right? So a little context. Um, they say that back during the Korean War,
Mm-hmm.
soldiers would just take whatever they had, whatever rations they had, and then just throw it in a soup.
Yeah.
And
So it's kind
so
of like a freestyle type.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
So you can honestly add anything you want.
Yeah.
But the version he showed me, he had the stock, the chicken stock.
Mm-hmm.
We had tofu. We had um spam.
Mm-hmm.
We had uh what else did we have? We had kimchi.
Okay.
Kimchi's a staple.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had all these different ingredients. You can add ramen to it,
Mm-hmm.
ramen noodles. You can add shiitake mushrooms. Um, you can add all these different kinds of ingredients, and as long as it has those base Korean ingredients like gochujang, which is their
Mm-hmm.
pepper paste. As long as you have like staple like the Korean staple ingredients,
Yeah. It'll just be quality, like a good meal for
it'd be
sure.
quality,
Yeah.
man.
Now that we're talking about like cultural foods, what's
Yeah.
your favorite Laos dish?
Laos dish. So if you guys don't know me, I am Laotian American. Um, but I would say my favorite Laotian dish. I don't know. There's way too much to.
I've tried a handful of them.
There's way too much to.
There's a lot.
But I'll tell you, some staples though that
Mm-hmm.
to all my Laos homies listening. Some staples though is you gotta eat the papaya salad, spicy
Yeah,
papaya
I remember
salad,
that. Yeah.
tamakung. You know, what else? Can't go wrong with a good old hearty bowl of kopiak.
Have I tried that?
Maybe. Kopiak is just chicken noodle soup, but
Mhm.
it's a Lao style version.
Okay.
So you know, it's nothing beats that on especially it's getting cold. It's got cold real fast, and
Mm-hmm.
then on a cold day when you're eating that, it's one of the best
It's a
things.
spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. So I'm Ethiopian, as I said earlier. I think our food is just amazing.
Hmm.
It's one of them things like if you were to offer to an American or someone who's not from your background, they'd be like, "Have you ever had anyone like look at your food and be like, eh,
I've always Not necessarily, but I've always felt like if
Maybe just this.
if I ever brought people to see the food,
Yeah,
I'd be afraid of what they
might say.
might think, but
Yeah, that might be a person thing, I guess.
yeah.
But with Ethiopian food, you you always start with the basis. The basis is your sourdough bread,
Mhm.
and everything that gets implemented on is kind of the choice of
Yeah.
whatever's for dinner. So some of my favorites would be dips, so dipsies. So that's like a beef type of sauce.
Yeah.
Then we got like a spinach gomen.
Mhm.
That's really good. Shoto, that's like a crushed up lentil with spices type sauce.
Yeah.
And there's so many, but I recommend you
Yeah,
definitely
I've never had
try
Ethiopian food
some.
actually. I've never had Ethiopian food.
Yeah,
So like
we
isn't there,
definitely
isn't there
there's one in
there's a restaurant,
Buffalo.
right?
Yeah, here and in Buffalo
Yeah.
too.
I think you recommended one, but I just never
Kind of
found the
got
time
caught
to.
up. Yeah, yeah. But I think I haven't had anyone who was like or like
Mhm.
said anything bad about the food. I mean, I
Mhm.
think they all have a good experience. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely do that sometime.
Yeah, I think it's one of those it's like one of those kind of low key spots, I guess. Or I'm assuming
Yeah,
cuz it's
yeah,
like one of those spots that, not everyone knows, but the people who do know it,
yeah,
it's like one of the best spots, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
So, it's like really good, right?
Yeah.
And then what what other food you into? Other cultures, I
Um,
guess. I know you like Laos food. Like I always invite you to come over when I have family
I like to
functions.
try a lot of different foods.
Hmm.
I'm not picky about anything like that. I know I've tried like Laos food. I've tried um Vietnamese. I've tried
Hmm.
Palestinian food from
Yeah,
Jay,
Palestinian.
Puerto Rican, um, you know, a handful of Jamaican.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, the list goes on. Like I'm down to try whatever though.
Yeah, like it's never ending, right? That's
Yeah.
why part of traveling, right? Being able to go to different spaces, you
Hmm.
can try their food.
Right.
So when I went to the Dominican, I've already had some kind of experience. I've had some experience with Dominican food or
Mm.
and Hispanic food from my parents' friends. One of my favorite things is Spanish rice. Like
Yeah,
that's
Spanish
hands
rice.
down like one of the best
Yeah,
things
it
ever.
hits every time. Like Gio, my one of my roommates, Puerto Rican, so
Hmm.
his mom would always make a Spanish rice with beans, pork.
Hmm.
Just
Yo,
every time, every time.
it's so
She loves
good.
me too. She would what else would she make? Empanadillas. So with the
Empanadas.
yeah, I don't if I'm saying that wrong, my bad. I think that's
Empanadas.
right though. But with beef or
Chicken.
shredded chicken,
Yeah,
cheese, whatever.
can't go wrong with those ever. Um, so there's Hispanic food. Um, I already covered Japanese food. Did Korean food. Like, have you ever had much Korean food? Um,
I mean, probably nothing super authentic. I have been to like a Korean barbecue spot,
oh,
but that's not like Korean dishes necessarily, right? That's just like they
no,
bring you some
it
steaks.
is. It's
Is that common to
it's in Korea. The thing is, though, Korean barbecue here in America versus Korean barbecue
that's what I mean.
in Korea
Yeah.
is very different.
Right, right.
They do things differently there than what they do here. Not to say that Korean barbecue here isn't good. It's absolutely bomb.
Yeah.
Like last time I went to Korean barbecue.
Actually, what I meant was the one when we went to New York City. So in New York City with your aunt,
Oh,
we went to a Korean barbecue spot. I forgot the name.
yeah.
Um,
It was one of the. It was a really pop. Yeah, I don't remember the name either, but it was a really popular Korean spot located in Koreatown in New York City.
yeah.
Um, that was really good though.
It was yeah,
It
it
was
was
good.
good. They gave us actually one of the meats they brought out was from I forgot how to pronounce the name of the dish you were talking about with your
Bulgogi.
exactly
Yeah,
one of them
we
was
had
out there.
bulgogi.
Yeah.
I think we had galbi,
Hmm.
which is short ribs. Um, we had a bunch of stuff. It was just like it was never ending.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was
like so
good.
good.
It was
That was like the one place when we went to go visit my aunt. That was like the one place that I requested that we go
yeah.
because like I haven't before that I haven't had like authentic Korean barbecue since I last went to California,
Hmm.
which was back in 2017.
Yeah.
So that was the last time I had like Korean barbecue. And when I went in California, it was all you can eat.
No,
So you
yeah.
just keep
You
ordering
just
and
keep.
ordering, and oh
That's
my
the
god, it
best.
was like so good. And at the time, I didn't really have an appreciation for that,
Mm-hmm.
so I didn't like really take it in. And like think about it now,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wish we could have.
I know. I know. Cali probably has all the food spots.
Yeah. We were in San Diego most of the time.
Yeah.
We did travel to LA. Um, we went to San Diego. That's where my family is, so I stayed there. We went around. My cousin showed me around different places as well as CJ. So we went around trying different locations,
Mm-hmm.
whatnot. Um, you know, it's all good, all good.
Yeah.
That's why I want to go back and actually like be able to document it. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like going there again, especially with this whole podcast project,
Yeah.
to be able to document that and then share that with other people.
Get something to take with you along the
Yeah,
road. Yeah.
yeah, it's something you could look back on because yeah, I definitely took those experiences and kept them with me when I went before, but you know, um, to be able to document it thoroughly,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of what I want to aim to do.
Right.
So,
So currently now, like, do you plan on, staying here in Rochester? What's your next step?
um, good question. People ask me that all the time. Do you want to stay in Rochester? Like especially when I got out of school, they would ask me, um, where do you want to go move, or where would you like to work, or which city would you like to work
Yeah.
in? And that's kind of a hard question because I have those answers. Like I said, I really want to go to the West Coast and see how life is out there. But
Mm-hmm.
the cost of living and all those things that you don't have to deal with here in the East Coast,
Yeah.
like heat waves and like fires and stuff like that.
Right.
That's like a lot that I don't know if
Like you want going on.
I want
Yeah.
going on. I mean that's just something people over there accept,
Mm-hmm.
and you know I
I
I
feel like it's one of them things. It's like it can't be as bad as it
yeah, it
really
definitely
is.
can't be as
Maybe
bad
the
as
money part, but
the cost of living.
cost of living, yeah. But like, I mean, we would say the same thing over here to them. Like yeah, it's not bad here, but weather. So that's something we would say. Something you just adjust to.
If I wanted to live somewhere, I'd want to live near like I don't know, for lack of a better word, like a cultural hub,
Yeah,
somewhere where there's access to a magnitude of like
different
different like
and amenities
foods,
and foods
amenities,
and
etc.
yeah.
So that's why West Coast is big on that.
Hmm.
Um, I'd have to look more into like what's over here on this side because I
Yeah,
don't really pay attention that much.
right.
Um,
Yeah. I don't know. For me, I think I definitely want to do a lot of traveling. It's something I see myself doing probably after this thing kind of clears up.
mhm,
Um, One of the things I really want to do is actually go back to Ethiopia.
mhm,
Maybe that might be something maybe 2 years down the road or whatnot. But going out there for like a 3 month time span and
mhm,
really you know en- embracing myself in the culture again, like 'cause it's been
mhm.
so long.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of one of the things I want to do is learn the language. You ever thought about?
I
I mean, you do know it.
I do know Laotian,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only to a certain extent. I wouldn't
Right.
call myself fluent,
Fluent. Yeah.
but for my aunts and uncles and my grandma,
Yeah.
when they speak to me, for the most part, I can understand what they're trying to communicate.
Yeah.
I
I
can.
don't. My bad. For me though, actually, it's like I can understand it. I just can't speak it type thing.
Hmm.
But for you, you can speak.
Yeah, I can respond in I can respond back in Laotian, but I don't I don't have confidence I'd be able to speak in a fluent
Like
conversation.
yeah, clarity.
I can't really do
Yeah.
that. Um, and you know, my aunts and uncles, they kind of worry about, this next generation,
Mm-hmm.
mine included. What happens if, we don't learn the language or don't
Right.
learn our culture, and what happens if we don't pass it down and stuff like that. And being younger, when I was younger, I we did I did go to our Lao Sunday school
Yeah.
at the Wat Pa Lao Temple here in Henrietta.
Mm-hmm.
And my aunt was one of the teachers, and she would teach people my age at the time, so all these young kids. She would teach, the Lao culture, Lao language, Lao alphabet, how to read and write. And I was a student up until I graduated high school. So I went there most Sundays and learned.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at the time, eh, I didn't really appreciate it as much as I should have. Thinking
Right.
back about on it now, and I do wish that I took it more seriously
Yeah.
than I did when I was younger. But
You know how it goes as a kid, though. You're just trying to live your life,
yeah,
and people trying to force you to learn stuff. But yeah,
I mean, for you, like, where would you be able to learn it?
all over. I mean, my whole family is. Let's start with
Does your
that. My whole
family,
family lives back home. So
your
it's just.
parents know
Oh yeah,
Ethiopian?
my parents know both the main I mean main languages,
Mm-hmm.
Tigrinya and Amharic.
Mm-hmm.
So Amharic is something I don't know well. Like I can vaguely, when they want to say something behind my back, they'll say it in that. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I want to learn, that and Tigrinya. Um, yeah. So all my family is back home. So it's not something I'm necessarily worried about here. But if I do plan on living, back home in the future for some time,
Mm-hmm.
or even, like you said, keep that culture ingrained.
Yeah, it's a
And
dedication if you want to
yeah,
do that.
especially being a firstborn here, it's kind of like, you know, it's on your back. You have to do something and then apply yourself in order to take it back home in some way or form.
Mm-hmm.
That's what your parents would hope for, at least.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be in be in a place here where the city I'm in, Rochester.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lucky enough to have a big Laotian community here
Mm-hmm.
in this city. So have a lot of access to other Laotian people, other my culture and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky enough to still be immersed in that kind of things from here and
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, but I don't know about you. Do
Now
you?
we do have a pretty big community here
Mm-hmm.
too. Um, so that's not, luckily there we do have big gatherings. We do have a great connection in the community. A lot of the Ethiopian community, they go to church every Sunday, and there's
Mm-hmm.
actual Ethiopian church. So
Yeah.
they get to stay connected through that, through religion
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. Christianity for us. Um, I mean, with everything going on, there's none of that stuff, but
Yeah.
that's one of the big things that we got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll do Ethiopian festivals and stuff like that, just
Mm-hmm.
to, even though we're overseas back here, but here in the U.S., like try to maintain a strong cultural connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For Laotian people and for here, you know that you already know that they have a bunch of festivals and like
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of like events at the temple. The most recent one I took you to was a food event where you got to taste all different kinds of Laotian food like sausage, chicken, noodles, curry, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Different kinds of salads, desserts. So we have a lot of that. Any one of you guys could go to. Um, they're always accepting of other people. Um,
I can attest to this because
yeah,
I've been to several. Great people, great food.
yeah.
Um,
There's people of all different cultures who love to come, and as long as you guys, as long as other people respect um our culture, you know,
Vice versa.
vice versa. As long as
Respect theirs.
as
Yeah.
long as there's you know good good feelings, I guess.
Yeah.
Feel
All
feel
right.
free to come. But all right, that was the very first episode of Fresh Off the Road. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. I enjoyed being here. I had a great time. Um, Hopefully you guys got to know a little bit about us and
Hmm.
what he's got going on with his show podcast.
Yeah.
um, I think it's gonna be a great experience for him and any upcoming guests that choose to be on the show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd love to be on here again.
You will see Noah again. Noah's role, real quick before we end. He's not gonna be a dedicated co-host, so to speak, but he will be a rotating member. You won't see him in every episode, but you'll definitely see him again in the future.
Yeah, once in a while, if I got some free time on my hands, I'll
Mm.
definitely pop in and out. Um, I think today was more of an intro,
Yeah.
so we're just getting the feel for
Yeah.
everything. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a set in stone thing. You just
Hmm.
yeah. So I think there's a lot
Yeah.
to
We're
come.
just seeing where things go, and hopefully, it all turns out well in the future, right?
Yeah. Um.
So
Yeah. Show my bad.
no,
Keep
go ahead.
go
Go
with your
ahead.
thing.
Okay. So no, where can people find you on social media?
All right. So on social media, all I have is Instagram. It's just my full name, NoahTaddesse.
And you guys can follow me at Tyler V underscore on Instagram. And you can also follow the Fresh Off the Road podcast Instagram as well. Thanks again for tuning in and catch us in the next episode.
Yeah. Peace and show love. Spread the word too. Hey.